Go get 'em, Tiger. Row.
We're all behind our baseball team. Go get 'em, Tiger. World Series bound and picking up steam. Go get 'em, Tiger. There'll be joy in Tiger Town. We'll sing new songs when the Bengals bring the pennant home where it belongs. We're all behind our baseball team. Go get 'em.
Detroit Tigers!
Go get 'em, Tigers!
Hey everyone, A League of Their Own back with another video. This year, the Tigers are celebrating the 50-year anniversary of their 1968 World Series winning team. I wanted to pay homage to that incredible team as well, and I will do that by highlighting the gutsiest move in history, as proclaimed by the Boston Globe. That gamble came from Tigers manager Mayo Smith. Here is his 1968 tops, graded a PSA 8. So, great card, great set, and a great year for the Detroit Tigers. So, just turn it around and give you an idea of the back there. The card looks really nice in the PSA lighthouse holder. So, we're just going to place this card in the background here next, as Mayo Smith is definitely one of the stars of today's tale. So, as the Tigers entered the stretch run in 1968, Mayo Smith had a small problem. Now, the good news was that the Tigers looked like a sure bet to win the American League pennant, their first since World War II. And their large lead allowed Smith some time to consider a solution to his problem. Now, the problem was that the Tigers had 3 shortstops in 1968. They had 3 because Ray Oyler, the best fielder of the 3, also ranked among the worst hitters in Major League history. So while Smith had 3 shortstops not ready for World Series action, he had 4 outfielders that were, including future Hall of Famer Al Kaline. So here is an in-person signature of Mr. Tiger on his 1968 tops that I obtained last year in Lakeland, Florida. So definitely not his best signature, but you definitely don't mess with Al Kaline. So we'll just place this card in the background here next. So getting back to the story, Al Kaline suffered a broken arm in late May of 68, and he actually missed all of June. So when he returned to the roster in early July, Mickey Stanley had taken over in center field, with Jim Northrup, who shifted from center to right field. So Mayo Smith figured, well, if he didn't have a shortstop who could hit, he could just invent one. So gutsy move right there. Cue Mickey Stanley, who before the summer of 68 had never played a single inning of shortstop in professional baseball. So here is Mickey Stanley's 1973 tops. That is graded a PSA mint 9. So a really gorgeous card right there. And to pick up a card from the 70s in such great condition without breaking the bank is just awesome. So just turn it around there so you can take a look at the back. Of course, we've got the cartoon at the top of the card there, Mitchell Jack Stanley. So we'll just place this card in the background here next. So Smith's most dramatic and strategic call was his decision to continue playing center fielder Mickey Stanley at short for all 7 games of the World Series. Now, even Smith's closest friends, they questioned the move, and critics thought that it wasn't a good idea because he was weakening the Tigers at 2 positions, given the fact that Mickey Stanley was having a Gold Glove caliber type season in center field. So while Stanley did make 2 errors at short, neither led to a Cardinal run, and his play was generally quite solid at shortstop. So down 3-1 against a heavily favored Cardinals team, the Tigers won the final 3 games to capture the World Series. And most importantly, the move allowed Smith to keep the big bats in the lineup. And certainly Jim Northrup and Al Kaline did not disappoint. They produced key hits that really helped to fuel the Tigers' comeback against the Cardinals. Now, ESPN ranked Mayo Smith's decision to move Stanley to shortstop as the 3rd gutsiest call in sports history and one of the 10 greatest coaching decisions of the 20th century in any sport. And the Sporting News also noted that the key players on the 68 team, well, they had really been around for several years, and unfortunately the Tigers weren't going nowhere. And the man whose arrival coincided with the Tigers waking up essentially and becoming successful was Mayo Smith. And Smith really made it tough to silence critics who claim that the manager isn't important. And sure enough, at the end of the 1968 season, Mayo Smith received the Sporting News Manager of the Year award, receiving 17 of 19 votes. So, as you can imagine, Mayo Smith's fan mail was so crazy after the Tigers won the 68 World Series that it took five people 2 full days to organize everything. And as for Mickey Stanley, Smith was so impressed that the next spring, Stanley was the Tigers' opening day shortstop, and that lasted until June. The Tigers then traded for Yankees shortstop Tom Tresh, at which point Stanley went back to center field. But despite starting only 77 games in the outfield, Stanley wound up winning his 2nd of 3 straight Gold Gloves. So Mayo Smith identified a potential weakness on his pennant-winning team, and then he devised a radical strategy that few managers would never have even considered, let alone implemented. But it worked, and the rest is history. So I hope everyone enjoyed these 2 recent pickups and my in-person autograph and the story that links them forever. So as always, thank you everyone so much for watching. Thanks for caring, and I will see you in the next one.
McCarver pops up. Here's Freehan. Detroit's the new world champion. And look at Freehan picking up Lolich. And there is a scene that has been repeated many times in World Series history. It's a happy bunch of Tigers. They have beaten the Cardinals 4-1, and they have replaced them as the champions of baseball.
And they made some comeback. They were trailing 3-1. They were behind 3 runs in the first inning of Game 5. They came back to win. They walked in here and murdered the Cardinals yesterday. They win again today, and 28-year-old Mickey Lolich now has joined Christy Mathewson, Jack Coombs, Babe Adams, Stan Kovaleski, Harry Burkeen, Lou Burdett, and Bob Gibson as pitchers who have won 3 games and lost none in a World Series. And Lolich did it with 2 days rest and beat Bob Gibson to do it.
Go get 'em, Tiger. Row.